Imagine working hard to fund and complete a degree just to have it revoked for protesting. This is the reality for many students at Columbia University. At least 22 students have been expelled, suspended, or had their degrees revoked for being involved in the 2024 pro-Palestinian protests. The exact number of students is unclear because the university refuses to disclose specific numbers or names over privacy concerns. Here's what you need to know. The Trump administration issued 9 demands to Columbia University on the 13th of March 2025 as a precondition for restoring $400 million in paused federal funding. This was in retaliation for the school's handling of pro-Palestine protests and encampments, which they accused fueled antisemitism on campus. Some of the requirements are to adopt the IHRA definition of antisemitism, which includes criticism of Israel, place Middle Eastern studies under academic receivership, which means that the department would be placed under a 5-year federally approved administration with veto power over hires, curriculum and events. To expand campus police powers, including the authority to detain protesters and share data with federal agencies like Homeland Security and ICE. Is that all students must complete compulsory training on the dangers of anti-Zionism designed by a federal appointed committee, cooperate with federal investigations which would grant DHS and ICE access to student protest records, including emails, ID card swipes, and to identify foreign agitators. The university responded on the 21st of March and agreed to most of the conditions except the new definition of anti-Semitism, and they rejected the 5-year academic receivership, but accepted oversight. Many lecturers and critics argue that this isn't about making campuses safer.
And the evidence for anti-Semitism on the Columbia campus, and I say this as a Jew, has just been completely lame and unconvincing. And the administration has never wanted to even entertain the idea that there might be a problem with its own exhibiting of evidence for supposed anti-Semitism.
Many are also concerned about the power granted to ICE and Homeland Security. Grant Minor, a student worker union president who lost his tuition, health insurance, and housing after being expelled. Columbia cited violations of university policy during the Hamilton Hall occupation, though no individual evidence was ever provided to Minor. Similarly, Mahmoud Khalil, a Palestinian graduate student, was detained by ICE and currently faces deportation.
Many of our faculty, even our tenured professors, like Mr. Khalil, are green card holders, permanent residents of the United States. And many of them, scientists, historians, cultural critics, have said things in the course of their scholarly careers that are noxious to the present administration in Washington. The attack on Mahmoud Khalil is intended to make them quake in their boots, and to make all of us quake in our boots.
Undergrad Yun Soo Chung also had her green card revoked, but a federal judge ordered that the Trump administration had to halt its efforts in arresting and deporting Chung, saying that there's nothing in the record that indicated she was a danger to the community. Critics have highlighted that in 1968, students occupied Hamilton Hall to protest Columbia's racism and Vietnam War ties. The university negotiated and no degrees were revoked. So why in 2024, in the same building using the same tactics, is federal funding being weaponized? But even as Columbia bends to political pressure, its students and faculty are fighting back with lawsuits, strikes, and protests.